The pipe is failing because it is breaking down from the inside. That damage cannot be fixed. It will never be fixed. This pipe cannot be made safe with patches. It has reached the end of its life. And until it is fully replaced, it can fail again without warning. You've heard me say previously that this is a ticking time bomb underneath our streets.
Sidney Vizard for Rebel News here in Calgary, Alberta, more specifically at City Hall, where Calgary, the city, is currently going through a crisis. A feeder main that supplies treated water or clean drinking water to almost 2 million Calgarians has been disrupted. It burst spontaneously, again without the city being able to recognize the problem before it happened, resulting in what could be a life-threatening situation for countless Calgarians. Before we get into the details, just to quickly understand what's happening here, a feeder main burst. That is a pipe that supplies treated water from a treatment plant that pulls water out of the river, goes through the feeder main pipe to the other pipes in the city that go up to your sink, your toilet, your shower, your laundry machines. All of these are using the treated water supply that comes from the Bears Paw water treatment plant or the Glenmore treatment plant. But now that this feeder main has burst, all of Calgary's water supply is being treated through one plant that is operating at as much as they can in order to facilitate the demands of the city. All while the feeder main, the Bears Paw water treatment plant feeder main, is still shut down. The expectations now are that this is something that is going to be constantly repaired until a new full feeder main pipe is installed, which could take years. Meanwhile, they've already said water restrictions are going to become a permanent feature of Calgarians' lives.
This pipe will continue to be brought out of service. It could be proactively through preventative maintenance. It could be sudden crises. And until we build the new replacement line, this is the new reality that we're living in.
And are you saying that restrictions will only be in place when the pipe is out of order?
We don't have all those answers for you right now. Likely, when we put the pipe back into service, we'll be able to remove the extra restrictions we're asking you for right now, those extra conservation measures about reducing your flushes, shorter showers, less dishwashing and laundry. That would be right now. When we have to take this pipe back out of service to do those additional urgent repairs, those measures are going to come back, and we're going to ask you to do that. And as we go through this summer, where our water usage is the highest, we're going to have some sort of restrictions in place. We don't know what those look like yet. We're working through that, but that will be part of the new reality that the mayor is talking about.
This report was enacted following the feeder main burst of 2024. I did an extensive amount of coverage on that situation, and I strongly encourage you to look back at those reports. They're all still quite relevant, as it is a very similar situation now that we had previously. Instead of praising Calgarians for helping you ease this disaster, will you take any accountability for leading us into a crisis?
At the moment, we are in a situation where we have had a feeder main break, and that impacted the entire city. There is an independent incident review that is being planned. The accountability is absolutely the job of council, and we are doing the things we need to look at what happened in this case and ensure it doesn't happen again.
I believe that we are going to be part of that review because it's going to be important for us to understand the problems in Calgary and how it might be a problem in other communities.
The difference is now being that since they had previously gone through it, they understand how to more rapidly fix the bursted location of the pipe, but they still don't know how the pipe was able to burst, or at least they're not telling us. In the report provided, there is a very interesting summary for immediate release. They gave us this slip, and it defines how Calgary's water system serves more than 1.8 million residents. And while the system has historically delivered safe and reliable drinking water, the panel concludes that long-standing pressures, aging infrastructure, rapid population growth, and chronic underinvestment have steadily eroded resilience over the last 2 decades. They essentially called the city out for not doing anything to properly manage our water infrastructure. And over the last 2 decades, most notably during the time of Mayor Naheed Nenshi and Mayor Gondek, the neglect towards this system only grew. Critically, the independent review panel put forward this graph. As you can see, it's a timeline of events that are impactful to the situation and they largely revolve around neglect. As it stands, the city's water infrastructure is still under a heavy amount of pressure, and the situation could get much worse rapidly. Here at City Hall today, the independent review panel has put out their final report. This was being put forward to the public during today's council meeting, and afterward I was able to get some questions in to Mayor Farkas and some of the other bureaucrats involved in the water feeder main situation.
What this report says is that there's not one smoking gun nor one single bullet that's going to solve for this. It's successive decisions that were made across the city of Calgary over the past 20 plus years that contributed to the situation that we're in now. So the question becomes, what does City Council choose to do here and now going forward? I'm of the view, and I would argue many of my council colleagues are of the view, that we need to spend the time to do this right.
Reduced hygienic measures, is this something that you might be concerned will have a great impact on Calgarians' health in total?
Well, Calgarians, we need to rally right now for the public safety of our neighbors and us as a community. We need to take needed measures like taking 3-minute showers, only flushing toilets when necessary, running our dishwashers and laundry when full. At the end of the day, this is support not just for us as a community, but for our fire department. We are at a point in time where we're getting close to loss of life territory. We need to do everything that we can for public safety and to be able to support each other as neighbors so we can buy the time for our front line who have been working their butts off to get this done for us.
Do you think that higher tax and utility fees for residents is a part of kind of managing aging infrastructure? Do you think it's something that Calgarians have to deal with?
Well, I strongly believe in being transparent and accountable to Calgarians. If we have a certain need to operate a water utility at a certain point that we can count on it and we will never have this happen again, I'm going to be very crystal clear with Calgarians about what that will take. Personally, I am pushing for sparing no expense to get this replacement line on, because we have to remember that right now we're dealing with a ticking time bomb. Below our feet at the Bears Paw feeder main is a ticking time bomb. It can continue to go off yesterday, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It will continue to go off until we build that replacement line. So there is no other option than to build this. That said, it's our job as City Council to hold our administration accountable to make sure that every single dollar, whether it's from taxpayers or ratepayers, is well spent. And I would argue at this point in time in Calgary's history, there's no better dollar spent than making sure that our water is safe and reliable.
And what level of population growth can we sustain, given that was one of the larger concerns expressed?
In the report, or? Well, Calgary's always been a big city on two very small rivers. Our per capita use has gone down significantly, which allows us to be able to continue to grow as an economy, allows us to be able to continue to grow as people, despite the fact that the amount of water that we're taking from the river may actually go down as the population goes up. So for me, I'm very much about making sure that Calgary continues to be a magnet for investment, for talent. Our investing in our critical water infrastructure is a big driver for that continued investment. We need to be able to allow Calgary to continue to grow and expand in its economy, and fundamental infrastructure like our water main allows us to continue to be able to grow.
Should there be a cap while it's still being repaired?
Should there be a cap on how many Calgarians? No.
Is there anything that can be done to expand the maximum capacity at the Glenmore treatment plant?
We have already done some work at the Glenmore Reservoir and treatment plant. Our current treatment plant is running at 3 times capacity right now. So again, that is a potential single point of failure that we're concerned about, which is why it's so important that Calgarians heed our recommendations to reduce water consumption, because we're relying heavily on a much smaller water treatment plant.
There's going to be a water flow reduction, it was said, on the Bears Paw feeder main once it goes back into operation. By how much is it going to be reduced?
I want to ask about
that was mentioned.
Michael Thompson, General Manager of Infrastructure Services. The question about what will the reduction of the flow through the Bears Paw South feeder main be when it goes back into service? We don't have that right now. We're currently evaluating what that looks like and what that will mean for Calgarians as we go forward. As we mentioned, we're focused right now on the immediate emergency repair of this pipe. We have to get this pipe back into service. Once we get it back into service, we have no guarantee that it will not break again. And so we're ready to repair it should it break again. and at the same time go and do other urgent repairs across the line. If we don't have a line break by the beginning of the spring, we will be taking this pipe out of service to do those urgent repairs, and we need Calgarians to be getting ready for that as we go forward. And so we're going to be talking to Calgarians about additional reductions as we go forward. Like the mayor said this week, it's a new reality and a new norm that we have as we go forward. And we know Calgarians don't want to be here, but we are focused right now to get this pipe fixed so that we have resilient infrastructure going forward. And as David mentioned, to accelerate that replacement pipe project as fast as we can.
If the situation gets worse, what are the contingency plans going to be? Are you going to be mass distributing water, allowing certain neighborhoods access while others are drinking non-potable or provided non-potable? What are the contingency plans?
So our focus right now is on getting this pipe repaired. We plan to have it back into service next week if everything goes according to plan. That's why we're really asking all Calgarians right now to conserve water. So those little things like reducing the time of your shower to 3 minutes or less, limiting the number of flushes that you have, and only running full loads of laundry and dishes make a huge impact to the water system as we move forward. Our focus right now is on that immediate repair. Once you get that repair completed, hopefully have that pipe back up and running by the end of or early next week.
Shouldn't Calgarians have a right to know?
If I could just ask, given this is expected to take years, are you concerned it might impact property values?
Sorry, what?
Well, are you concerned that this might impact property values if we're living in a city that can't supply properly treated water?
Well, we're going to get this done. That's what this plan calls for. So our council in the last budget put in $1.1 billion, almost 3 times or 4 times what previous councils did. So $1.1 billion for brand new water infrastructure. So that's the fundamental reason we're here is municipal government is public safety. It's the critical essential infrastructure.
Well, I'll give
that's
you
what we're committed
the
to.
credit. You're doing a lot better than Gondek has so far. But
I got to run in,
pipes,
unfortunately.
Hope you enjoyed this report. Let me know in the comments what questions do you think need to be asked of Mayor Farkas as this proceeds. For Rebel News, I'm Sydney Fizar. RebelFieldReports.com is where you have to go if you want to support our independent journalism, on-the-ground coverage of events like this, stories that matter to Canadians.